Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're re-diving deep into a fundamental concept that every single IT and cybersecurity professional absolutely must master: the OSI model and how it relates to cyber attacks. If you've ever wondered how attackers pinpoint vulnerabilities or how to build a truly resilient network, you're in the right place. Because in today's digital world, cyber attacks don't just happen out of thin air. They are calculated, they are precise, and they target specific layers of the OSI model. The more you understand where these attacks occur and how to control them at each level, the stronger your entire security posture becomes. So let's get into it and level up your cybersecurity awareness with a simplified layer-by-layer breakdown. Let's start at the top, where most of us interact with the network every day. Layer 7, the application layer. This is the layer of user interfaces and application processes. It's where your web browser, your email client, and all your favorite apps live. Because it's so close to the user, it's a prime target for attackers. Think about common threats like SQL injection, where an attacker slips malicious SQL code into a web form to manipulate a back-end database, or cross-site scripting, also known as XSS, where they inject malicious scripts into trusted websites, which then run on a victim's browser. And then there's the big one, remote code execution, or RCE, which allows an attacker to run their own code on your server. These are all application layer attacks. So, how do we defend against them? The first line of defense is robust input validation. Never trust user input. Sanitize everything. Regular patching is also non-negotiable. Developers are constantly finding and fixing vulnerabilities, so keeping your software up to date is critical. And of course, a solid Web Application Firewall, or WAF, is your best friend here. A WAF can inspect incoming traffic and filter out malicious requests before they even reach your application. Moving down to layer 6, we have the presentation layer. This layer is all about data format and translation. It's the network's universal translator, taking application data and converting it into a standard format that can be transmitted, and vice versa. It also handles encryption and compression. Attackers who target this layer are clever. They exploit how data is formatted and encoded. For example, they might use code injection techniques that take advantage of how the presentation layer processes certain character sets. Or they might launch serialization attacks, where they manipulate the process of converting an object into a data stream, injecting malicious data that gets executed when the object is reconstructed. The defense here is conceptually similar to the layer above. Always sanitize inputs. You have to be meticulous about cleaning any data that your application is going to process or handle. Using secure, well-vetted data handling libraries is also key. Don't try to reinvent the wheel when it comes to data serialization or parsing. Rely on libraries that have been battle-tested and are maintained by the security community. Next up is Layer 5, the session layer. This layer is the conversation manager. It's responsible for establishing, managing, and terminating sessions or connections between two applications. Think of it like a dialogue between two people. The session layer makes sure the conversation starts correctly, stays on track, and ends cleanly. But what if someone could impersonate one of the speakers or hijack the conversation midway? That's exactly what attackers try to do here. Session hijacking is a classic attack where an adversary takes control of a valid user session. They might do this by stealing session tokens or cookies, which are small pieces of data your browser stores to keep you logged in. If an attacker gets your token, they can impersonate you without needing your password. To defend Layer 5, you need to make your sessions unpredictable. Use randomized session IDs that are long and complex, making them hard to guess. Implement secure tokens with flags like HTTP only to prevent them from being accessed by client-side scripts. And critically, ensure you have reliable logout mechanisms that properly invalidate the session on both the client and server side. Don't just rely on the user closing their browser tab. Now we're getting into the core of networking. Layer 4 is the transport layer. This layer provides the fundamental services for data transfer between hosts. The two most famous protocols here are TCP, the Transmission Control Protocol, and UDP, the User Datagram Protocol. TCP is reliable and connection-oriented, like sending a registered letter, while UDP is fast and connectionless, like sending a postcard. Because this layer manages the flow and reliability of data, attackers love to disrupt it. This is where you see flooding attacks. A classic example is the SYN flood. An attacker bombards a server with connection requests, or SYN packets, but never completes the handshake. This leaves the server with a bunch of half-open connections, exhausting its resources until it can no longer accept legitimate requests. TCP hijacking is another threat where an attacker can essentially inject themselves into an ongoing TCP session. The defense at the transport layer involves active monitoring. Your firewalls should be configured to watch for signs of these floods and other anomalies. Using secure data exchange protocols like TLS, which encrypts data in transit, is also essential. TLS doesn't just work at the presentation layer. It has deep ties into the transport layer to secure the entire communication channel. Let's move down to Layer 3, the network layer. This is the domain of IP addresses and routing. The network layer is responsible for moving packets from a source to a destination across multiple networks. It's like the postal service for the internet, figuring out the best path for your data to travel. Major threats here are still very prevalent. IP spoofing, for instance, is where an attacker forges the source IP address in a packet to either hide their identity or impersonate another system. This is often a key component of a larger denial of service or DOS attack. You also have ICMP attacks, like the ping of death, where attackers send malformed or oversized packets that can crash a target system. To protect Layer 3, you need an intrusion detection and prevention system, or an IDS/IPS. These systems can analyze network traffic in real time to spot signatures of known attacks and block them, implementing strong routing security, like using secure routing protocols, and configuring your network edge to prevent IP spoofing by filtering packets with internal source addresses coming from the outside, are also crucial defensive measures. Beneath the network layer, we find Layer 2, the data link layer. This layer is all about local network communication. It deals with MAC addresses, the unique hardware address of your network card, and how data is moved between devices on the same physical network segment. This is where switches operate. Even though it's a local layer, the attacks can be devastating. Think about MAC spoofing, where an attacker changes their device's MAC address to impersonate a trusted device on the network. Or RP poisoning, a more insidious attack where an attacker sends falsified RP messages to link their MAC address with the IP address of a legitimate device, like the default gateway. Suddenly, all the traffic from victims on the network is being sent to the attacker first, allowing them to perform a man-in-the-middle attack. And then there's VLAN hopping, where an attacker on one virtual LAN can gain unauthorized access to traffic on another. Defending the data link layer requires diligence in your switch configuration. Use port security features on your switches to restrict which MAC addresses can connect to a specific port. Enable dynamic ARP inspection to prevent ARP poisoning, and ensure you have proper VLAN configuration, avoiding common mistakes that could allow for hopping between them. Finally, we arrive at the most fundamental and often the most overlooked layer of all, Layer 1, the physical layer. This layer is everything you can touch: the cables, the hubs, the network interface cards, the server racks. It's the physical medium over which the electrical signals, light pulses, or radio waves travel. You can have the most advanced firewalls and encryption in the world, but if an attacker can gain physical access to your server room, it could all be for nothing. They could unplug a critical server, tap into a network cable, or simply walk out with a hard drive. This is why physical security is a cornerstone of cybersecurity. So, what are the defenses? It starts with the basics. CCTV cameras monitoring sensitive areas. Controlled access using keycards or biometric scanners to ensure only authorized personnel can enter data centers or server closets. Using secure cabling and locking server racks, and performing regular infrastructure audits to check for any unauthorized hardware, rogue devices, or physical tampering. Never ever underestimate the importance of the physical layer. So, why does breaking it all down like this matter so much? Because effective cybersecurity isn't about buying one magic tool or creating one specialized team. It's a holistic, layered strategy. It's defense in depth. When you understand that an SQL injection attack happens at Layer 7 and ARP poisoning happens at Layer 2, you can stop thinking in general terms and start thinking strategically. You can deploy the right controls at the right layer. You use AWAF for the application layer. You configure port security for the data link layer, and you install locks for the physical layer. Each layer's defense complements the others, creating a much more resilient and robust security posture. It allows you to build a security architecture where if one layer fails, another is there to catch the threat. So keep learning, stay informed about the threats at each layer, and you'll be able to stay one step ahead. Thanks for watching today. I hope this breakdown of the OSI model and its related cyber attacks was helpful for you. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our future content. Stay secure, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.